Hi guys, Steph here. Right, what we've got for you today is a lovely and interesting fountain pen. Can you guess what it is? Yes? No? Well, what we have for you here, this is the Swan Safety Screw Cap Fountain Pen from Mabie, Todd and Company, made in England. Comes in this black hard rubber, and well, first thing that we'll notice to the top there, you can see it's got this what we term as an accommodation clip that simply sort of, if you like, slides on. Now if I bring it a little bit closer, you can see there, that's the clip, and then you may be able to see just sort of to the top of the clip there, or well, around about the middle, you'll see it's got this Swan logo. Now this pen I'm dating, well, not vintage, I would say this pen is a antique fountain pen, because I'm dating it around about the 1915s. So as well, 1915, yeah, over 100 years old, I would say it's an antique fountain pen. The size of it from the top of the cap to the bottom of the barrel, it's approximately 135 millimeters capped. Around the barrel, it's a nice little 10 millimeters in diameter. Comes in this black hard rubber. Now, with it being a 100-year-old pen, all I've done is just simply cleaned it up, cleaned all the feed, the nib, cleaned it inside the barrel as well. With it being 100 years old, I am not 100% sure whether it originally had a chase pattern. If it has, then it's worn off, but as you can see, or hopefully you can see, it's quite a smooth fountain pen. There's no sort of, well, there's no sign, I don't think, of any chasing to the barrel. Again, if it did have, then it's long worn off. As we said earlier, it's got this accommodation clip here. One of the things about the clip, somewhere it's got a registration number. It's also got made in England. Again, it may be a little bit worn, but I have a feeling the clip may be silver. Underneath, I don't know if you can actually see, it's actually the inside of the clip, because obviously I took it off to clean it. I don't know if it's apparent or you can see it there, but inside the clip it's actually gilded. Now for some people that may know, may not know, a lot of silver of that particular period inside was gilded, and again this one has got some gilding inside the clip. There's some marks here, but again, whether they're actually worn, I'm not sure. That may be silver hallmarks, but I am not 100% definite. But as I say, it's got this accommodation clip to the top there. This one, for you people that don't know, is, well, it's a bulb filler, an eyedropper filler, whichever way you want to term it. The model of this particular model is the Swan No. 3. Now when I took the clip off, a little bit on the faint side, but underneath the clip it actually has, to the cap, it has Swan No. 3. Now the barrel imprint, again, because it's a very old pen, is still visible, still legible at close up, but I don't know if it's going to be sort of apparent on the video, but it's somewhere about there. And the barrel imprint reads the Swan Safety Screw Cap, Mabie, Todd and Company Limited, made in England. And then what we have to the very bottom of the barrel somewhere, I've actually got to look over the camera, I think that's it there. Again, I don't know how clear this will be for you, but what it has to the bottom, around the bottom of the barrel, it actually has C3 medium. Now the 3 obviously relating to the model. The C maybe relates to the, again, the model being a screw cap, and the medium, I'm assuming, relates to the nib being maybe a medium nib, which we'll try for you in a moment. But all in all, a lovely and very interesting antique fountain pen, and again, for a 100-year-old, I think it's in cracking condition. As I say, I've given it a clean up everywhere. The inside the barrel's been cleaned, the feed, the nib, etc. So it's in lovely condition. So let's unscrew the cap for you. Let's show you the pen in different angles, like so. Okay, let's pop the cap down. Let's take you up to the feed. You'll notice the section. The section there has got quite a long section. This slightly concave. It comes to a ridge to the top near the nib. So a lovely long section. Now let's show you the nib. Again, let's bring it nice and close. Keep it still. The nib reads Mabie, Todd and Company, and then just below that it has New York, and then below that, but I think now inside the section, so you may not, well, I doubt you'll see it, it has the number 3. So it's a Mabie, Todd, New York number 3 nib. There's a sideways view for you, and then there's the feed. You can see it's got a very recognisable from that particular period, a swan comb feed underneath there. Again, as you can see, very nice and clean. So all in all, a lovely pen. Nice and comfortable to hold. It's quite a long pen. Obviously it's a slim pen, but for me, again, I've got large hands, no problems at all. Nice and comfortable to hold. Okay, yes, I know, I can hear you already. Yes, can we see it writing? Well, let's give it a bash. So, as I say, this is an eyedropper pen, which means that what we do, we simply unscrew the section like so. Let's show you the feed, because the feed actually differs on these pens. You may, well, for you people that watch my videos regular, you'll see that I've shown you other eyedropper pens, so if you're interested in them, go and have a look. But you can see on this one, the feed has got a slight sort of peak, if you like, or comes to a cone at the end. Some of them had like a metal wire for the ink flow, but this one, no, it just comes like, as you can see it there. In most cases, what I tend to do is apply a little bit of well, I'll tell you what we'll do while we're talking. Let's do it. So what I've got is a little bit of silicone grease, and what I'm going to do is just apply some silicone grease to the thread there. Doesn't need a lot. And then what we'll do, let's just wipe our fingers, get the silicone grease and pop it to one side. So the reason we're putting the silicone grease on the thread, with it being an eyedropper pen, now for you people that don't know, eyedropper pens have, well, they have certain little traits. Obviously, with it being an eyedropper, the silicone on the threads prevents any leakage. Another trait that these pens have, once we fill the pen, what you'll find is once your hand actually heats, if you like, any air inside, sometimes we do get sort of blobbing of the ink, and that is simply down to, well, if you're up in the air on a plane, to air pressure, but in most cases it's down to the fact that your hand, the heat from your hand actually heats the air inside the barrel, and that'll create, in occasions it'll create what we term as burping or blobbing of ink. So let's bring on some ink. Let's bring on our trusted syringe. Okay, Doc, let's give them 20 ml. So let's pop that in the ink and draw up some ink. That'll be more than adequate, I think. So there we have it. Let's pop that into, I don't want it to squirt, so let's do it gently. There we go, pop it all in. Let's get the section, pop the section back on. Just give it a little twirl like so, so it covers, the silicone covers everything inside. And let's see the pen write. As always, this is the first time it's been tested, so if we have any hiccups, then you will see hiccuping live. So let's see how it writes. So let's turn it over. Will it write straight away? I don't know. Let's just keep it upside down for a little while I'm chatting and let the ink feed through, well, through the feed, I would have said. So let's see if it writes. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm just going to simply, there we go, give it a blob like so, just to start it, and let's see if it writes now. So there we go. There she blows. So what we have is a Swan, and this one is the safety screw cap. As we said earlier, I'm dating it around about the 1915s. This one is the number 3, which I believe is actually the rarer of all the Mabie Todd eyedropper pens. As we said, this one is made in England by Mabie Todd and Company, and as you can see, I'm not applying any pressure. It's just a gentle amount of pressure, or well, no pressure at all, and the pen is writing with a fine line. But with these pens, they do tend to have some flexibility, so let's apply a little bit of pressure, and there we have it. So what we can get is a broader line on a downward stroke, and then if we do the sort of figure of 8s, and there we go, you can see on the downward stroke, and some people tend to do this. I don't know how to actually do it, to be honest with you. But there we go, let's leave it at that. There we go, there's a lovely writing sample for you, writing with a fine line. Excuse me. Until we apply a little bit of pressure, we can get a lovely variation in the line. So for them people out there that like to write, who like to do cursive writing, what a lovely pen to use. So somebody hopefully, well, we'll try and find a new home for this pen. Somebody hopefully will enjoy this pen and have many, many years of, well, nice writing. So let's pop that to one side. Let's pop the only problem with this pen, when I actually took the accommodation clip off, now I don't know if you can actually see it, but what it's actually done, it's actually sort of, because they're quite tight, and it's actually pressed in slightly onto the cap, and over the years, obviously again over 100 years, it's actually slightly distorted and sort of crunched in the cap. I mean, to look at, absolutely superb, no problems, but as I say, when I took the clip off to clean everything, you can actually see a slight indent where the clip is actually sat, so it's actually sort of crunched it in slightly, so that when you actually put the sort of cap back on, there's a little trick. You just got to wait for it, there we go, and then it screws back into place. So you just, when you actually put the barrel in, you just feel a little bit of resistance until you turn it a little, and then it goes on, no problems at all. But as I say, for a 100-year pen, hey, that's quite adequate, quite, you know, you'd expect that as far as I'm concerned. But all in all, lovely pen. We're going to find a new home for it. I hope you've enjoyed looking at the pen as much as I enjoy showing them to you. Don't forget, leave a comment below, don't be shy. And listen, have you subscribed? No? Why? Subscribe now. But for now, I'll just say bye bye for now.